Good evening, love. I heard you wanted to have a good night story. So today, we have the third knock. There's a story people in quiet places tell sometimes. Not often. Never loudly. Because it's said that if you tell it too clearly, something might hear you. It begins with a simple rule. If you ever hear 3 knocks on your door in the middle of the night, do not open it. Most people laugh when they hear this. After all, a knock is just a knock, right? Houses settle, pipes shift, branches tap against windows in the wind. There are always explanations. There are always reasons. Until there aren't. Elias didn't believe in stories like that. He had just moved into a small house at the edge of the forest, far from the noises of the city. It was the kind of place people described as peaceful. Too peaceful, might some say. But Elias liked the quiet. It helped him sleep. On his first night, he noticed the silence. No distant traffic, no voices, not even the sound of wind. Just stillness, deep and complete. He fell asleep quickly, and for a while, everything was normal. Until he woke up. He didn't know why. There was no nightmare, no sound, just a sudden, sharp awareness that something had changed. Then he heard it. A knock. Elias blinked in the darkness. He turned his head toward the front door, barely visible down the hallway. He waited. Nothing. He exhaled softly and rubbed his eyes. An old house, he muttered to himself. Probably wood settling. He laid back down, closed his eyes. This one was clearer, more deliberate. Elias sat up. Now he was listening, really listening. The silence turned thicker than before, like the house itself was holding its breath. He glanced at the clock, 2:17 a.m. For a moment, he considered getting up, but the thought felt unnecessary, even foolish. Who would be knocking at this hour? Still, something about it lingered. A quiet discomfort. The kind that doesn't shout, but doesn't leave either. He swung his legs out of bed, slowly, carefully. The floor creaked under his weight as he stepped into the hallway. The front door stood at the far end, shadowed and still. He took a step forward, then another, and then the third knock. It echoed through the house, not loud, not aggressive, just final. Elias stopped. Something in him, something small but certain, tightened. He remembered the story, not clearly, just enough. 3 knocks do not open. He let out a quiet breath and gave a small, maybe nervous laugh. Seriously? He whispered to himself. Silence answered. He stood there for a long moment, staring at the door, waiting for something else. Another knock, a voice, footsteps. Nothing came. Finally, shaking his head, Elias stepped closer. "Hello?" he called out. No answer. He reached the door, placed his hand on the handle. It was cold. Far colder than it should have been. He hesitated, just for a second. Then he opened it. The porch was empty. No footsteps, no movement. No sign anyone had ever been there. Just a dark stretch of trees beyond the house. Still, silent, watching. Elias frowned and stepped outside, looking around. "Hello?" he asked again. The forest didn't respond. After a moment, he turned back inside and closed the door, locked it. "Wind," he said quietly, even though the air hadn't moved once. He returned to bed, and eventually he fell asleep again. But something had changed. In the morning, everything seemed normal. Sunlight poured through the window. Birds sang. The world felt real again. Almost. It wasn't until late at night that Elias noticed the sound. Soft, faint, but unmistakable, coming from inside the house. He froze. The sound came again, closer this time. Not from the door, from the hallway. Elias slowly turned his head. The hallway was dark again. Long. Empty. Then, from just outside his bedroom door, Elias didn't move, didn't breathe. Because now, he understood. The rule had never said the knocking would stay outside. And this time, there wouldn't be a door between them.